In today's video, I'm going to be talking about top 10 money mistakes you are probably making and you don't know. The first mistake that you're making is living paycheck to paycheck. So guys, if you're this kind of person who is living paycheck to paycheck without having other goals in mind, without having other strategies that can bring you money, this is a mistake that you're making. Ask yourself, what happens when that one source of income just vanishes? What happens the source that you're depending on just crashes down? So this means you are going to go broke, you're going to be homeless, because if you are living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have savings, you don't have emergency funds, you are not investing in anything, you're just depending on your paycheck. Guys, this is a really big mistake you're making, and this is going to cost you a really big time, and you're going to find yourself broke. You're going to find yourself financially unstable simply because you are living paycheck to paycheck. So if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you have to wake up. Start thinking about other ways on how you can earn more money. Start thinking of other ways you can invest in the little amount of income that you are getting, so that you don't depend on paycheck. So the moment you find yourself that you are depending on your paycheck to solve most of your financial issues, your day-to-day expenses, guys, this means you are on the wrong path. The moment you find yourself that your budget can't work out without you waiting for paycheck to come in, then this means, guys, you are at a really bad point. So if you are depending on paycheck to fix your bills, to pay some of your debts, this is going to affect you a really big time, and this is something that you should avoid. This is something you should stop. Think of how you can add other side incomes, so that you can keep on making more money, so that you can keep on advancing when it comes to your financial strategies. And the top money mistake that you're making is not having a budget. Guys, I always emphasize on budget. Budget is really important if you want to take control of how you spend your money. The first thing you have to do is sit down and craft a budget that is going to work for you. But if you find yourself spending money without budgeting, and you're thinking that you're doing it right, guys, you're doing it wrong, simply because there are some of the things that you'll be spending money on that aren't really necessary, and you're pushing money on them. This is going to affect your spending, and the moment you can't take control of your spending, it's going to be really hard for you to hit your financial goals. So having a budget is really important, because you're going to control your spending. If there's certain amount of money that has to go to your saving, your budget will ensure that that happens. If there's certain amount of money that has to go to your bank account for emergency funds, that cash will go to your emergency fund simply because you intentionally budgeted for it. And if you have a budget, you're going to be conscious about how you spend your money. You're not going to be throwing money on things. You're not going to be throwing money on experiences simply because you feel like doing it. You're going to be disciplined, and this is why you need a budget. But if you don't have a budget and you're doing things just whenever you feel like, you buy things when you're bored, when you feel like doing so, guys, you're spending money on things that you're not supposed to. So that extra money that you're spending on things that are really unnecessary, you have to cut them off, simply because you need to focus on building yourself. You need that money. You need to invest that money in something big that is going to change your life in a few years from now. If you're working on your early retirement, you need a strict budget that is going to push you to save more money into your bank account. It's going to push you to invest more money. It's going to push you to reinvest in yourself. And that is why having a budget is really, really crucial when it comes to you as a person hitting your financial goals and becoming financial smart. Another mistake you're making when it comes to money is ignoring your emergency saving. Your emergency savings are really, really important. It doesn't matter how much money you earn. You might be earning a really good income and you're comfortable, you are fixing everything, your budget is so amazing and your wants are fulfilled and you're so comfortable, you are living a life, man. And that's okay. But what happens when an emergency hits you? What happens when something big hits you and it requires lots of money for you to fix it? what happens when you have someone in hospital and they need lots of money to pay those bills and you're the one to take care of them. So when you think like this, you actually are going to realize that it's really important to have an emergency fund. Emergency savings are really important. Don't ignore them. If you don't have emergency fund, the only thing that will happen when you have financial emergency is that you're going to go back into your savings. You're going to be using money on your saving, which is going to slow down your progress. You're going to be using money on your investments, which is going to slow down your progress. So it's really important to have an emergency fund because this is your safety net. Because if anything happens right now and you don't have cash to fix all these problems, if you have an emergency fund, guys, you are set for success. You won't be stressed about anything because you know that you have a certain ton of cash somewhere. You have a stash of cash somewhere that you can dip into and fix all your financial issues when they hit you so bad. So it's really important to have an emergency fund. If you're not focusing on your emergency fund, if you don't have an emergency fund, guys, this is a reminder to you that this is a really big mistake you're making and it's going to cost you a really big time. Another mistake you're making is spending before saving. Guys, you have to prioritize saving and investing. I always say this on this YouTube channel. You have to prioritize those. It's like you have to pay yourself first. And this means you have to take your money first into your savings. The main reason why I'm saying this is that sometimes we have lots of expenses. To be honest, the amount of money that you earn will never be enough for you, It will never be enough for you, and sometimes you have to be a little bit stingy. You have to be restrictive. You have to put things tight for yourself in order to take control of your spending. And this requires a really huge amount of discipline. And that's why saving first before spending is really, really important, because it's a sure bet that you're always going to put money where it's supposed to be. But if you start spending, you're going to realize that you're spending almost your entire income, on your expenses. And the amount of money that you're going to save is going to be so little, or you're not going to save at all, because all your income will have gone to your spendings. And the part of saving, you're going to forget about it. And you're going to tell yourself, man, I don't need to prioritize saving. Maybe I'll start saving next month. And while you're doing this, you're slowing down your progress. And if you are saving, you have a goal in mind and you want to succeed when it comes to a business you're trying to build, when it comes to an experience that you want to take yourself to, you're going to realize that you are far behind because of these poor decisions that you're making. So always automate savings. I always say this because it's a really great way. You don't have to think about saving. When the money comes in, it actually directly goes to your saving account. And this is going to put you a step further. You won't have to sit down and think about, oh man, how much money should I put into my saving? How much money should I put on this account? And you're going to be a step further compared to someone else who doesn't think on that. Another money mistake you're making is buying things simply because they're on sale. Maybe there's this fancy bag somewhere, or there's this a really good gadget, or maybe it's a smartphone. You want it's so bad, and to be honest, it's not on your budget. You didn't plan to make that purchase, and it happens that that smartphone that you wanted so bad is 40% off. And what you do, you go back to your account, you take stash of cash, you use it to buy that phone, and simply because it's 40% off. This is a mistake that you're making, and it's costing you a lot. It's ruining your budget. If this is something you're doing, this is a really big mistake you're making. So don't buy things simply because they are on sale. Don't buy things simply because the discount is huge, especially if you didn't budget for that thing, if you didn't plan to spend money on that thing, because this is a really poor decision you're making and it's costing you a lot. So stop spending money on things that you did budget for. Stop spending money on experiences simply because there is a discount. Stop spending money on things that are going to ruin your budget. You have to spend money on things that you actually planned for. And this is how things are supposed to be. So guys, another money mistake you're making is not investing early. You have to take advantage of the compound interest. If you're investing early, this means it's going to take a little bit a while for your money to keep on growing. So the earlier you start, the better it becomes. So if you start late, this means the amount of money that you're going to withdraw from your investment is going to be less. But if you start early, you have a really big chance because you're taking advantage of the compound interest, and you need it to grow your finance when it comes to you hitting your goals. So it's really important to invest early enough. So think of something that you can invest in, and always think of this in a long term, and it's going to help you a really big time. So do your research, find an investment platform, think of stocks that you can invest in, think of shares that you can buy somewhere, and put your money into it early enough, because those shares are going to grow, and within 2 or 3 years you're going to realize that you're actually hitting your goals, and you're actually withdrawing so much money out of this. This is something that people usually do, especially the billionaires. These people usually start investing early enough when market is unpredictable. You know, people are putting money in things. It's a risk, guys. I know it's a risk, but that's what you have to do. No risk, no story. No risk, no reward. So think of investing early. Don't wait until it's too late for you to start investing, because you're actually missing out a lot when it comes to you making your money, building your wealth, and hitting your financial goals. Another money mistake you're making is actually not having financial goals. Having financial goals is really important, and it's the drive, you know. Having financial goals, it's like having your whys. The moment you know why you are working for something, the moment you know why you're working on improving yourself, the moment you know why you're working to hit your financial status somewhere, if you are working for your financial freedom, if you're working for things that you really do want to achieve, this is going to put you on the right direction. All the points I talked about above in this YouTube video, you're going to actually put your emphasis, you're going to put them into practice. But if you don't have financial goals, this means you won't be budgeting, and you'll be spending money recklessly, simply because there's nothing pushing you. You don't have a drive. And this means you're going to be spending your money recklessly without thinking of strategies, without thinking of how you can grow yourself as an individual. So it's really important to have goals. You know, sit down, craft goals that you're going to commit yourself to. You're going to ensure that you do things that you're supposed to do to ensure that you hit these goals. This means you're going to be smart. You're not going to be spending money on things that you're not supposed to. You're going to be thinking of how to grow yourself as an individual. You're going to think of ways you can grow your wealth, and this is what you're supposed to do. So if you don't have a goal, if you don't have financial goals, this is really a huge mistake you're making, and you should start crafting your goals and work towards them, because at the end of the day, when you hit all these goals that you have written, these goals that you are committing yourself to, these small goals, you're going to realize that they are taking you closer to your dream life, especially when it comes to hitting your financial freedom and early retirement. So another money mistake you're making is forgetting about subscriptions. Guys, subscriptions, I always talk about this. You might be maybe having 2 or 3 or 4 subscriptions, and I'm pretty sure some of you guys have even more than that. So if you have lots of subscriptions that you forget about them, and this subscription keep on taking money from your account now and every month, guys, this is really costing you, because if you have 2 or 3 and these subscriptions take about $30 to $40, you're going to realize that at the end of the year you have been spending so much money on things that you're not supposed to, and this money is supposed to go back to your saving. This money is supposed to go back to your emergency fund. You're supposed to use this money to invest in yourself and grow your businesses. If you keep on forgetting about subscriptions, the best thing for you to do is actually set a reminder somewhere. It can be on your Google calendar, not it. Set schedules somewhere, so that when it reaches a day of the month that you're supposed to cancel them, you go and cancel them if you're actually forgetful about them. Because if you forget this, it's wasting you lots of cash without you realizing it. So guys, you have to fix this, because this is dragging you down when it comes to you hitting your financial goals. Another money mistake you're making is relying too much on credit cards. Guys, if you have the habit of relying too much on credit, guys, this is a really huge mistake. This is a really not a smart financial decision. Think about it. If you'll be spending maybe $100 and you end up paying more than that, then what's the point of that? This means you are going at a loss. So avoid credit cards, avoid spending too much on your credits, because this is going to put you in debts. If you're someone who is actually aiming to hit financial freedom, you need to avoid debts always, because I always say debts are your enemies. You're not going to be focusing on growing as an individual. The only thing you're going to be fighting for is just clearing debts, and this is going to slow down your progress when it comes to you hitting your financial goals. So ensure that you don't rely too much on your credit cards. Don't use the credit cards, guys, to cover your budget shortfalls, because at the end of the month you're going to have to spend more money than what you spent on. You're going to pay more, because these debts have interest, and this interest will keep on recurring, and it's really not a good thing. And if you want to avoid this, then don't rely too much on credit. And sometimes the best way to do this is actually avoid spending money on things that you can't afford. It's like maybe you want to buy a gadget and it's way too much of the price. It's overpriced. It's not the price that you really can afford. And simply because you have a credit card somewhere, you're spending money on it simply because you just want to buy it. And eventually you're going to find yourself in debts. And in most cases, this usually comes on this part of you wanting to buy something that you can't afford, or buying too many things at the store, and this leaves you in debt. So you have to stop relying too much on your credits. Craft your budget and stick to it. So this is going to help you ensure that you're not relying too much on your credit cards. You are spending the cash that you have budgeted for. So guys, another money mistake you're making is actually comparing yourself to others when it comes to your financial status, when it comes to your financial goals. This is really a bad thing, and this is what actually leads to lifestyle inflation. So if you're the kind of person who is always comparing yourself to others, you have to stop this, because it's slowing you down, because it's ruining you, because it's affecting your budget. This is because you're going to find yourself spending more money on things that you're not supposed to. So avoid this issue of comparing yourself to others. The goals that I'm working on, they're not the same goals you're working on. And even if they're the same, we have different capabilities, we have different power, we have different drives when it comes to what we're working on. And the amount of money that I might be earning in a month, it might not be the same as you. So comparing yourself to me or comparing yourself to someone else is not really a good thing. You should always work on comparing yourself to yourself. Ensure that if maybe I earned $500 this month, I make sure that next month I earn more than that. If maybe this month I saved $50, I'll ensure that next month I save more than that. That is how you should compare yourself to yourself, because you'll be competing with yourself, and this is really a healthy progress that you're going to find. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like the content, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like the video, share the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.